CE. Back in the year 350 CE, in the highlands of what is now Ethiopia, stood the powerful kingdom of Axum. Its capital, also named Axum, was a bustling center of wealth, trading in gold, ivory, and precious salt. Dominating the skyline were massive stone obelisks called stelae. Each one was a monument, intricately carved to honor a deceased king and ensure his spirit remained a powerful force. 2. Into this world of ancient traditions came a young Queen Makeda II. Though she was the granddaughter of the legendary Queen of Sheba, no one had expected her to rule. The throne was meant for her uncle, but fate had other plans. A devastating drought gripped the land. The crops withered in the fields, and the rivers shrank to mere trickles. The priests of Axum declared that the ancestors were angry, that they had turned their backs on the living. One moonless night, driven by desperation, Queen Makeda climbed a treacherous cliff alone, seeking answers. As she stared into the vast darkness, a shooting star blazed across the heavens. 2. In that moment, she heard a voice, carried on the wind, whispering a message that would change everything. Forget the dead, worship the living sky. Makeda was convinced. She believed a single, all-powerful sky god had spoken directly to her. This revelation sparked a fire within her, a revolutionary idea that would shake the foundations of her kingdom. In the third year of her reign, Queen Makeda made her move. She issued a decree that stunned her people. The sky god was now supreme. All worship of ancestors was officially banned. The great stelae, those towering symbols of royal lineage and spiritual power, were to be toppled. Any family found with ancestor tablets in their homes was ordered to smash them. This was not just a religious reform. It was a total cultural reset. She wasn't just changing beliefs. She was changing the very landscape. She commanded the construction of a new capital, a city built high on a cliff face, named Quito. Thousands of workers were forced to abandon Axum, their ancestral home, and laboriously carve palaces and homes directly into the solid rock. To cement her new world order, she even ordered the creation of a new alphabet, a script dedicated solely to writing the words of her sky god. The old GS script, the language of the ancestors, was forbidden. The old temples dedicated to the ancestors were shuttered, their lands seized. The grain and cattle they once held were confiscated to feed the workers in the new city of Quito. The Queen's guards patrolled the roads, enforcing her new laws with an iron fist. If a hidden ancestor stone was discovered, the owner would lose their land, their livelihood, their connection to the past. The Queen's revolution extended even to art. Traditional carvings always depicted kings as stiff, perfect, almost godlike figures. But new statues of Makeda II showed a different kind of ruler. They captured her with realistic arms, a tired face, and even a small noticeable scar on her cheek, making her strikingly human. Paintings showed her not in a stuffy palace, but eating with common people under the open sky, with no watchful eyes of dead kings looking on. But you can't erase centuries of tradition overnight. The people clung to their old ways in secret. Farmers would quietly leave offerings of food for their grandfather's spirits in the fields. Traders, traveling far and wide, would hide old coins bearing the images of their ancestors in their belts. And the priests, stripped of their power, watched and waited, their silence belying a deep-seated resistance. The Queen, meanwhile, poured her energy into writing a book of sky prayers, declaring that only she could communicate with the one true God. All the kingdom's wealth was funneled into her cliffside palaces and new roads, while trade with powerful allies like Rome faltered. And in the villages, children began to go hungry. After 15 years of Makeda's rule, her son, Azana II, came of age, hidden, grown up in the sterile, rocky city of Quito. His childhood was spent in the old capital Axum, surrounded by the whispers of the past. He still secretly carried an ancestor coin that had belonged to his father. The day of reckoning came during a bustling market day in Axum. Queen Makeda returned to the old capital to crown her son, with a final, symbolic act in mind: to melt down the last great stela and forge the metal into medals, bearing the symbol of her sky god. But as she stood before the crowd, her son Azana stepped forward. He faced the people and spoke with a clear, steady voice. "The sky is far. Our ancestors are close. They fed us before you took their grain. A roar erupted from the crowd. The army, loyal to the old ways, cheered for their new king. The priests seized the moment, throwing open the doors of the long-abandoned temples. Queen Makeda's reign was over. She wasn't executed, but perhaps her fate was worse. She was quietly escorted to a small, isolated house on the cliff, to be forgotten by the kingdom she tried to remake. Zana wasted no time in undoing his mother's work. He melted her golden throne, not into sky god medals, but into new coins. Each one was stamped with a simple, powerful message: Ancestors Eternal. He ordered his mother's name to be scratched off every wall, every monument, every record. The cliff city of Kawaito was left empty, abandoned to the wind and the wild goats. For 1,500 years, the name of Queen Makeda II was lost to history. Then, in 1928, an Italian explorer stumbled upon a sealed cave near the ruins of Kawaito. Inside, he found something incredible: clay tablets inscribed in the Queen's forbidden alphabet. They were her sky prayers, and on one of them, a carved portrait revealed her true face, tired, scarred, and undeniably human. Was she a mad tyrant or a brave visionary? We may never truly know. But she was the first ruler in her kingdom's history to stand up and declare, "The past does not own us," and even though they tried to bury her name and erase her memory, the sky she worshipped still sees her. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more hidden histories. We'll see you next time.